Welcome or welcome back to the Side Quest Kitchen. Today, I thought we would apparently make a feast because there's a lot of ingredients on the table. Not necessarily a feast, but I feel like these two recipes would go together nicely. So if you have been watching the shorts up until this video, you would know that I tested a couple different lemon cake recipes. And out of the, I think it was three, out of the three recipes, this was the best recipe. So instead of just leave the Rhaenyra's lemon cakes recipe as a short, I decided to actually make it, listing all of the ingredients and steps in an actual recipe video. I figured alongside the lemon cakes, this recipe for Arbor Gold would go fantastically with it. I started finding and collecting House of the Dragon wines. The white version was one of them that I was able to find. So with Arbor Gold needing white wine, I figured what better way to combine the themes of these recipes with Rhaenyra's lemon cakes and House of the Dragon wine going into the Arbor Gold wine recipe. First, we'll make the wine because that has to sit and infuse in the fridge for a couple hours or ideally overnight, and then we'll move on to the lemon cakes. So for the Arbor Gold, you will need 1/2 cup of white grapes sliced in half, 1 pear thinly sliced, 1 apple thinly sliced, a cinnamon stick, a star anise, 1 bottle of white wine, 1 cup of elderflower liqueur or cordial. And so I organize my alcohol shelf in a certain way so that this, because it's so tall, is the farthest in the back, so like shortest to the front so that I can see what's behind it, you know? And with this being so tall and in the back, if you can imagine, I couldn't see what the liqueur looked like. And it's been a long time since I've used elderflower liqueur, but I do believe that it's definitely not supposed to be this dark. I will say that I don't exactly know how old this is. This has not been used in guaranteed at least 5 years. I didn't realize it looked like this until right before I started recording this video and pulling all of the ingredients out. I knew I had it, but I didn't know it looked like this. So knowing what elderflower liqueur smells like, it does smell like elderflower liqueur, but it's so dark. It's so dark. So let's cross our fingers and pray that this turns out okay. Actually, you know what? Let's just taste it. I haven't tasted it prior to right now, so let's... It smells like elderflower liqueur, like from what I remember it smelling like. I just 100% remember it not being this dark. We'll see. I don't know. Like I said, I don't use it very often, so I don't remember exactly what it tastes like, but it doesn't taste bad. It tastes like sweet, flowery liqueur. But okay, so let's slice these grapes. And I don't know if this is going to hold everything. I guess what we can do is we'll definitely put the bottle of wine in there and then we'll go from there because it has an extra 2 cups of liquid. So we'll see. Okay, let's slice these grapes. I'm going to add them straight to decanter. It says half cup. I'm not gonna measure it. Just because I bought these grapes for this recipe and I don't really eat grapes. We'll just use this much. While editing my videos, I noticed that I tend to make very animated faces when I'm doing things. Like I just noticed that I did when I was slicing the grape, which is not a very, ouch, laborious task. I just stabbed myself. It's not hard. I could understand if I was doing something harder, but this is not hard. And I realized I made a grimace that made it look like it was hard. I'm not going to use that grape. An undisclosed amount of grapes. I would say that's probably like a cup, so it's like doubled, but it's just grapes. 1 pear, thinly sliced. This poor pear has been sitting on the side over here, waiting for me to do this recipe for a long time, probably 4 days. Like that. I can't remember the last time I had pear. I don't remember what kind of apple this is. Maybe Honeycrisp? Ow. Oh. So I found the sticker. It was on the exact bottom. They are Honeycrisp. So my smell senses, I'm pretty sure they're immaculate. But I'm actually gonna only use half because it's already filling up a lot. I'm not gonna measure it. And with it filling up that much, it's going to obviously displace the amount of liquid we're gonna put in it. And that's probably my fault because I put almost probably a cup of grapes in the bottom. Next, we will need 1 cinnamon stick, 1 clove. Nope, this is a star anise. And then we go with the wine. So we have House of the Dragon Chardonnay from California in 2022. Our Chardonnay displays power and grace with aromas of ripe lemon, fresh citrus, and subtle oak. The longer time on the vine allows her flavors of vanilla and green apple to shine through, creating a round and silky wine worthy of the throne. Let's pop her open. Oh gosh. I was scared that see, I didn't center it very well, and I was literally on the side of the cork. You can see like sections of the spiral, and it was breaking apart, and I thought it was gonna pull through the cork and not pull out the cork. But we're good. Okay, let's dump this in here because it calls for a cup, and I don't know if that's a cup, but if it's not a cup, then all of it is necessary. And let's taste a little bit of this. Ooh, wow. That smells really good. It's been a long time since 1, I've had wine, and 2, even longer since I've had white wine. I don't drink very often. Honestly, I only ever drink on YouTube when I'm making recipes. It smells really good. When people describe the things that they smell, for example, this wine, I have watched some YouTubers open and drink this wine and smell it and describe things that doesn't sound like that's what they're smelling. Like people that smell it and they're like, oh, I smell lavender, and I smell grapes, I smell tobacco, I smell whatever that they smell. I'm just like, do you really though? Are you just like imagining it? So it just smells like white wine. I can't describe the subtle little things. So it says Literally, it says subtle oak. Fresh citrus, ripe lemon, green apple. Okay, so when I'm looking, time to eat my words, or drink them. When I'm looking at the words that is describing what it's supposed to smell and taste like when I was reading the words, lemon, citrus, green apple, subtle oak, I could smell it. But only when I looked at the words. Okay, time to taste it. Don't taste vanilla. Don't taste that. I do kind of like see how they can say, or they can put on the label green apple. It does taste a little green apple-y. I don't taste vanilla though. It's good. I don't know. It's white wine. So in she goes. And then it calls for 1 cup of elderflower liqueur. You know what I don't like? The aftertaste. Well, it looks like we had just enough. Put that in there. And then 1 cup of apple cider. Mmm, doesn't that look delicious? Oh, wouldn't this be my luck that it slipped out of my hands as I went forward? Knock that everything off, yeah. Oh gosh. 1 cup of, oh, it's very slippery. Barely. And then a tablespoon of orange blossom water. Says that it's optional. Ah, I feel like that would be amazing. I love orange blossom water. Table spoon. Tablespoon. Orange blossom water is very strong. We'll see. Let's close everything before we knock stuff off. And let's stir this. Oh. That's gonna be so good. Oh, it is. Oh, see, I'm kind of upset because the color of it is very, very cloudy compared to the picture in the book, which I try and replicate to the highest degree, obviously, because if you're using the book's recipe, you want to try and create what the picture in the book looks like. Well, this will be a little off because actually I didn't know if this is the exact kind of apple cider that it was asking for. It just says apple cider, and this is the only apple cider that I could find was spiced apple cider. And I feel like that's making it cloudy, along with the color of the elderflower liqueur. But it tasted so good. So with it sitting overnight, okay, so we just placed our wine infusion in the fridge and we will let it infuse overnight and we will come back here shortly through the power of editing. So now we can start making our Rhaenyra's lemon cakes. I got too excited when I was starting the wine recipe that I totally forgot the main ingredient is my energy level. Yep. We're back. So I wasn't planning on making this recipe. The lemons I got to actually test and prep for some of the other recipes, the cocktail recipes that I was going to make. And then I ended up not needing the lemon for those recipes. So when I knew I wanted to make the wine recipe, I was like, what would go with that? And then it occurred to me that this being the winner of the lemon cake battle, I never actually put out a full recipe for it. So the stars aligned. So with the recipe, it does call for 2 to 3 lemons sliced very thin to go in the bottom of the cupcake tins. Let's just go through the ingredients. For the topping, you'll need a half a cup of unsalted butter melted. Let's start melting that actually. 1/2 cup of ungranulated. What does that even mean? 1/2 cup of granulated sugar and the 2 to 3 lemons sliced thin. So the last time I made this recipe, the batter had enough to fill all 24 of this large cupcake muffin tin. So I will need 24 slices of lemon. And then it also calls for 2 tablespoons of lemon zest. Knowing that I have to produce 24 thinly sliced lemons, I might not. I think we should make this tomorrow when we pull the wine out of the fridge. I'm gonna need more lemons. I'm doing the math in my head now, and knowing that I'm going to have to cut 24 slices of lemons is not going to leave me enough lemons to produce 1, 2 tablespoons of lemon zest, and then 2, 1/2 cup of lemon juice. Oh, I'm still recording. Oh, gosh, dang it. Actually, plot twist, just so that I know that I have enough lemon juice, we will use these lemons to get that lemon juice, and then when I go to the store to buy more lemons, it'll be specifically for the slices, and then the lemon zest I can do, oh wait. So I'll get the lemon zest grated, and then squeeze it and then get it, yep, okay. Oh, I just remembered. With this method, since I'm zesting it now to make sure that I have 2 tablespoons, I was just now thinking about how I could prevent the zest from getting dry. But then I remembered in the last video, I mentioned, or at least I think I did, that what you could do is rub the lemon zest into the sugar that goes into the cake to extract more lemon-like oil from the zest itself. And with that being said, I can do that now, and it'll prevent the lemon zest from getting dry. It's all working out. Kind of. Okay, so I'd say, oh, yeah. I'd say about 3 lemons is 1 tablespoon. So doing 3 more lemons for 1 more tablespoon is only going to leave us with 3 lemons. And I doubt 3 lemons is going to be enough for 24 thinly slices. Maybe, actually, maybe. It might. Because if these 6 lemons make 1/2 cup, I might have just enough. Because each lemon would have to produce at least 8 slices. We might actually be able to make it. Hold on. This one's very pungent. Ouch, and actually kind of... I didn't notice it in the beginning when I apparently did it, but I can start to feel it burning now. But apparently this part right here, I guess I got too close to it. I'm not bleeding, but it just feels a little stingy. The reason, if you're wondering, if you're not, then I'll just tell you anyway, why I zest like this instead of like this is because I feel I have more control over how much I'm zesting like this, whereas like I find like this, I would tend to press too hard and then get more than just the zest that I want. With this way, I can just glide over top of it, and I can immediately see where I've zested so that I can move on to the next area. And that's why I nearly zested my fingers, well, the webbing of my fingers. Okay, that looks like more than 2 tablespoons, but it's fine. More lemon, the merrier. With this, just like rub the lemon zest into the sugar and you'll start to smell the lemon oil coming through and like smelling really good. See, I don't want to slice the lemons first because like I don't want to slice them first to make sure I have enough slices to fill all of the little muffin tins because I don't want those to dry out, even though I just could put them in like a container. Let's see how much lemon juice this produces. So we do now have melted butter, 1/2 cup or 1 stick. And we also have a mess. There's lemon zest everywhere. Oh, so much stuff. I don't remember how much butter we put in here, but I'm gonna use like a teaspoon and see how far that gets us. Nearly perfect. So 1 teaspoon in 24 muffin tins is pretty good. There's like a little bit extra in the pan here that I'll just put in some of the ones that look like could use more, I guess. Now we would put the lemons in, so let's slice those. Move this to the back. Oh no! Wouldn't be in my videos if something didn't happen. Distribute the melted butter for the topping among the depressions. Fill 12, see this, filling the full 12 holes of one tin and 4 to 6 holes in the other tin. So it's assuming that you're not gonna make 24. However, I filled all of them last time. And if you also remember last time, 8 of them, I wasn't prepared to make 24. And so the last 8, I just said, screw it. And I think I put spray and like sugar and that was it. And that did not, it literally, I had to dig it out. Okay, so put the lemons. Let's get, oh, you know what we didn't do? Seed the lemons. That one is perfect. I feel like my hair is touching all of these. Okay. Just enough, barely just enough. Okay, then my contacts are fuzzy. Sprinkle the sugar for the topping into each depression. Physically reading the directions out as I do them incorrectly. You're supposed to put the sugar before the lemons. We're gonna do this each one by one. The lemon has already starting to solidify the butter underneath because it's cold. I don't remember how much sugar I used in each one, but it'll come together, it'll come together. Super annoyed if you can't tell. Hopefully that doesn't largely affect how they turn out. Now we put this aside and we can start with the cake batter. To make sure that I don't incorrectly do this again, to make the cakes in a large mixing bowl, whisk together the olive oil, eggs, and sugar. Well, the lemon zest is already into the sugar, so it's going in as well. Olive oil, 1 cup, eggs, 3, lightly beaten. That looks disgusting. Oh, wow. How the eggs separate from the olive oil. Okay, the sugar, all of it, please. Oh yeah, I believe this is when my whisk decided to end its life. Okay, so then add the vanilla, then the lemon zest, and the lemon juice, which we need to measure still. It needs 1/2 cup. So now that this is empty, 1/2 cup. Nice. And even there's still a little bit left. And there's also seeds. Okay. Lemon juice, lemon zest is in there, vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon. And I'm going to do my own little thing because there's orange blossom water in the wine we just made. We can tie it together a little bit by adding a little bit of orange blossom water. And I want to measure this. This is very strong. I feel like, let's see, we added a tablespoon in all of that. Maybe a tablespoon, because this is going to make a lot of cakes. Maybe not. Let's do a teaspoon, just to be safe. I want it like there, but I don't want it to taste like perfume, because it can be very overpowering. Then mix that in a separate bowl. Whisk together the flour. Did I even read off the ingredients? So for the topping, we used 1/2 cup of unsalted butter melted, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, which we divided, and 2 to 3 lemons sliced very thin, which we also divided. So for the cakes, you'll need 1 cup of high quality olive oil, 3 large eggs lightly beaten, 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 tablespoons of lemon zest, 1/2 cup of lemon juice, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 3/4 teaspoon of fine salt. That's an odd measurement. Usually it's like 1 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon, but 3/4 teaspoon of fine salt, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric, and 1 cup of whole milk. So in a separate medium mixing bowl, sift together the flour, salt, baking powder, baking soda, and turmeric. So this flour already has my salt on top, so there's that. And then we have baking soda, baking powder, and turmeric. And we will whisk. Well, I'll grab my milk. So I got tested and I am lactose and soy intolerant. I always just kind of guessed and like joked like, haha, like I'm lactose intolerant, but I really am. More so soy. The soy had a higher number than the lactose did, but I am soy and lactose intolerant. So it says whole milk. You can use whole milk. I will be using a lactose alternative milk. So let me grab that. Okay, so I'm gonna be using macadamia milk and we need 1 cup. Alternating with the milk, add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients in 2 to 3 additions, stirring just enough to combine. Okay, I do believe this was a watery batter, so I can keep using this, I think. So we'll start with the, it doesn't say to necessarily end on either. We're gonna end on the dry ingredients. I feel like that is usually how recipes end when they tell you to alternate with dry and wet ingredients. Stirring just enough until combined. Be careful not to overmix. The batter should be satiny and smooth, but not thick or gluey. Sure. Okay, let's start dividing this out. I don't remember which scoop I used, but distribute the batter into each depression of the muffin tin as evenly as possible. Great. Why am I standing like that? I tend to do things with my hands, my body, and my facial expressions. Okay, perfect. They're all pretty evenly distributed. Let's put them in. The bubbles are coming up like I perhaps whisked it too much. I don't remember that happening last time. Bake for 25 to 30 minutes or until a toothpick inserted in the center of one cake. Until a toothpick inserted in the center of a cake comes out clean. Okay, well, here we go. Okay, so they're done. And they look really good. They smell really good. And for the recipe, you take it out of the oven when the toothpick comes out clean, and you let it sit in the tin for 10 minutes. It has sat for 10 minutes, and so now let's see if they come out clean. We did this last time. So not all of them came out. They're slowly coming out, but...
Excuse me, what the actual fuck are you doing?
They came out, so that's good, with coercion, and some of them not as great as others. But they look exactly like the book, which is ideal, and they look exactly like they did the first time I made them, which is also ideal because that means they're going to be really good. There they are. And tomorrow, when the wine comes out, we will bring these back out and see how they go together. Oh, what the fuck? Welcome back. It's the next day, and it's been a very bad day so far. And I did not want to do anything today after this morning. But I had to finish the video, and I wanted to see, obviously, what our Arbor Gold infused wine tastes like. So I already know what the lemon cakes taste like. They taste amazing. But they're meant to go together, so obviously we have to taste them together. And for the Arbor Gold, it says to serve, add some sliced fruit to the glasses, and pour the infused wine over the top. So we will do that. I have a couple grapes here and the other half of the apple from yesterday. Couple slices. The slices actually in the picture are more like this. They're kind of like triangular, like quarters or eighths instead of like thin slices. So we'll use these. We'll do these two here, like that. And then this is our infused wine. Let's give it a stir actually before we put it in there. There we go. It's definitely cloudier than the picture, but like I said before, I think that's because of the specific apple cider that I used, because the apple cider was very cloudy. But overall, I mean, kind of looks the same. Let's see what it tastes like. Oh. That smells... Well, maybe... What is that? I don't know what it is that's giving it like... Maybe it's the elderflower liqueur. I don't know, but it's not my thing. But I know what is my thing. Lemon cakes. And these came out perfectly again. And I also added a little bit of orange blossom water to the recipe. So let's see if that made a difference. What is that? Something on the edge. I can't tell a difference whether or not it, has orange blossom water or not. It just tastes similarly lemony to the first time I made it. They are really good. These ones are really good too. But as far as As far as the Arbor wine, sorry, Arbor Gold wine, I don't know if putting the fruit in it does anything. I don't taste any fruit. But I think I'm tasting the star anise with the elderflower liqueur. That's not making great combination. But if you are into star anise licoricey flavors, and have a fresh bottle of elderflower liqueur that hasn't probably gone bad, mine probably was bad. I apologize to anybody who was watching that was completely appalled by me using the elderflower liqueur that most definitely was off. But it's what I had left, and I wasn't gonna leave to go get a new bottle of elderflower liqueur when I had that one. And when I tasted it on its own, it didn't taste off or sour or bad or anything in any way. But I don't know, maybe it's just a combination of everything in this that is not mingling, meshing together. So, in the words of Walter Frey, no more of that Dornish horse piss. This is the finest Arbor Gold, proper wine for proper heroes. I guess I'm not a proper hero because this is not great to me. But the lemon cakes are very great, and I suggest that you try and make them. And if you want to try what the Arbor Gold tastes like, then cheers to you because it's not bad, but it's not good. It's not great for me. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed today's recipes. And yes, I did save the last of my monster to drink at the end of the video. So if you are looking forward to more recipes, then subscribe. And until then, I will see you guys later. That is a non-carbonated, sugary disaster. Don't save monsters for the next day. Okay, I'll see you later.